This is the DNA Pest Control Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Anthony.
All right. How's it going, Anthony? Everything good?
Yeah.
Day's great?
Perfect.
Awesome. So if you are just listening, this is the first episode you're listening to. We do have two others, just so everyone knows. Go back and listen to them. But today we are going to go over keeping your clients happy on the route and in your business. So Anthony, in your experience as a technician, what are some things that you've done to keep the clients happy?
I think the first thing is the mindset you're going to need when you are going out there. And I think the main thing really is just understanding what a client really is. I do know you get your paycheck from your business, but that paycheck comes from the clients. So if you could go ahead and get that in your mind and understand, they are paying my company money for me to go out to their home and solve their bug or pest issues. So I'm thinking if you could go ahead and get that set in your mind, and you could go ahead and it doesn't really matter. You don't have to say, they're my boss, I'm going to do everything they say. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is as long as you could understand that, no, the client isn't just another number. They're not another stop on your day. They're each an individual person that is paying their personal hard-earned money to have you out there to take care of their home.
Absolutely. I think that's kind of the pride that you have to have in the job too.
Yeah.
You know, some of the guys, they look at it as they do look at the boss, they look at the owner, in my case, and say, he pays the check. And that I don't believe in that. Mm-hmm. So I hope that my guys don't believe in that, where it's, no, they do. They're paying everything. Without them, we're not paying anybody.
Well, yeah. So put in this picture, hey, no route, no clients. There's no boss. There's no owner. There's no work truck.
And if clients are leaving, eventually the owner's going to do it himself, and there's not going to be a job there. You'll go find it somewhere else.
You have to go work somewhere else. Yeah.
So absolutely. And I do want to hit something though, is a lot of companies call their clients in our industry, in what we're doing here, we call our clients, but most people call them customers.
Yeah.
I want to hit a little point on that. I've read a few books about that. And, clients, the difference between a customer and a client is a client typically is reoccurring. A customer is like Walmart. You go to Walmart, you buy an item, you leave. Maybe you go back, maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter. It could be a one-time thing, could be 50 times. But it's really up in the air, but there's nothing there. There's no attachment there. No one loves Walmart. Or at least I don't think.
I think some people love Walmart.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what? They have really cheap prices, so I can't say
affordable
no one loves them.
Prices.
Affordable. There you go. But what I mean is, there's not a connection. If
a Whole Foods moved in, or if a Target moved in, and they have the same prices, there's not much loyalty there.
No, exactly.
I get what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when we say clients, for us, they are reoccurring. They're coming back to us. They have chosen us, and to stay with us. Yeah. So
now, and I would say it'd be the example of if a client is, or let's say a person goes to Walmart or any store and they buy pesticides themselves or anything like that, then they're a customer to the industry, but they turn into a client once they go out and get your services each day, or not each day, but each month that they want the pest control service.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, I look at everybody, in at least in our company, they're our clients. They're paying us. They're allowing us to be on their property.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they're private property. They trust you enough to have a guy come out every now and then, go through their gate, and at times go into their home when they have to leave out, and you're in there, you're locking the door for the client. So yeah, they're trusting you.
Yeah, that trust is
They
huge.
Wouldn't trust the cashier at a store to do all that for them. So there's trust there, and they're not just another number. And that's the main thing that people have to realize.
Yeah. So, being a technician out there, remember, you're going out there, you're hitting those doors, you're cleaning those houses of webs, you're ridding those houses of bugs. At the end of the day, majority of the time, they're not saying thank you, whatever company, they're saying, hey, thank you, Anthony, for servicing my home.
100%.
Yeah. That's why shout out goes to them.
So many clients are just so stuck on having a specific technician because and you can't blame them because that's how our industry works. They want a guy to go out to your house and, they essentially want that guy. They're not home all the time. They want to know, say, Daniel's out there. Oh, perfect. Daniel's there again. He's been doing my house for 2 years. Great.
Well, yeah. And that's, I guess, that's normal. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go deal with somebody, I typically want to deal with the person I know.
Yeah.
I just got to know them. I know their face. They know me. They know my home. Of course, I want the same technician. And so we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard as techs, as business owners, when it does come to that, because they are everything to us.
100%.
We can't act as if we're better than them.
No, not at all.
So, that respect has to be there.
And a big thing people need to realize is we are in the service industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you are doing a service and they're paying for a service. And a lot of times, hey, you could have days where you don't interact with one client.
Yeah, and those are the nice ones.
Yeah, they are nice.
Those are nice. We're
saying
days.
all this nice stuff about them.
Yeah.
But those are the days you could throw on a podcast, preferably the DNA Pest Control podcast.
There's the plug.
And then you could throw on a podcast and get your day done. Not even talk to a client, and you don't have to practice any customer service that day. But there's going to be days where you're going to talk to clients and you don't want your mindset to be skewed. You don't want it to be, oh man, you want the garage done. Oh man, I've already done 8 houses. Or it's not going to be, oh, you want me to check your kitchen. And not everyone does it, but I'm sure there's guys out there. I've had days to where it's super hot. It's 110 degrees. And you don't want to have to go in someone's house. You're like, oh man, I want to think my way out of this, but I'm still going to get it done.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, I mean, I've had that where I've had short conversations with our clients and trying to just kind of push them away and get it over with really fast so I can get to the next house, get done, get home, get out of the sun.
And you just say that's a no-no.
Oh, a huge no-no.
To the client, they don't know how busy you are. They don't know if you're in a good or bad mood. They don't know that you've already done 98 houses before them. All they know is their bug guy's coming out. And the person that did their initial service was more than likely someone with a very happy smile. So once, they don't want to experience someone that seems like there's less patience on the table for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that kind of brings into the next point of what do you do when you are talking to a customer? So what is that customer service? How are you getting them to, keep that conversation short? Because obviously we don't have hours to spend with them.
Yeah.
But so to keep that short, but also keep them happy. What have you done on the doors? What are some tips?
My number one tip, and I've had great success with it, is really just being on top of the whole, not so much of a fast pace type of thing, but hey, I'm here to solve your problem, and I focus on the problem. Now, if they bring up personal endeavors or anything like that, then of course, I'll kind of talk to them. I'll go back and forth. But the main thing really is just taking charge of the conversation, because, in the end of the day, and we've mentioned it before in a different podcast, but you're the professional. You're the one that's there. You're there to do the service. So you could easily take control of the conversation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think that's huge. I'm always trying to use their first name. So depending on what system you use, hopefully you guys are using systems. If you haven't listened to the last podcast, it's a huge, huge help. But if you have that handheld and you're looking at your phone, say their first name, be respectful to them. So they know, oh, this guy knows me. Even if it's the first time, it doesn't mean that you have to go and, try to catch up on 5 years of,
exactly.
That doesn't matter. It's just knowing their name, knowing the property, reading the notes, keeping proper notes in there so that when you do get to that house, they're comfortable. If you're new, they're comfortable with the new guy. If you're an old guy, they know you. It's good.
No, well, yeah, obviously, if you've been running a route for 2-3 years and it's the same route, those people know you. You're their friend, regardless of how you see it or not. You're the guy that if they have kids, you're keeping black widows and wasps away. They don't have to worry about their kids getting bit or stung.
Yep.
And they have more faith in, their peace of mind around their home because of you.
Yeah.
And even if you're a new guy, it's up to you to build that trust. Because at the end of the day, it's as simple as I'm here to keep those mean bugs away from your home.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So, yeah, I mean, if you have been there, I guess, for years, you've already built rapport. You've already know who they are. You probably know their dog, their kids' names.
Yeah.
You've been through a couple of seasons with them. But if you're new, what do you suggest if you're a new guy going to that door?
So if you're a new technician, whether you just started in the industry or whether you're, been in the industry for years, my number one advice would be to put everything on the table. And when I say that, it's you lay it out. Hey, how's it going? And I would always ask, hey, anything, the last guy that was servicing your home did in specific that you want me to go ahead and keep going for you? Or, just make sure you're hitting up on all the points, make sure you're positive, you're the happy-go-lucky guy. You don't want to show up to a house and it's your first time and you're like, hey, I'm here to spray, and that's it.
And actually talking like that, now that you bring that up, I think appearance is a big one. What do you think about appearance? Yeah,
that sets the whole tone there. I mean, if you show up to a house smoking a cigarette, your shirt's untucked, you start throwing the F words like a sailor or something. That person's going to lose a lot of faith and trust in you. And they're more than likely not going to trust you around their house when they're not there. So always look professional. Always talk professional. And, it's not, don't show up like a robot, like, hello, I'm here to do your service today. You don't have to do that. Was that a good robot?
That was a terrible robot.
Hold on, can I have one more try?
Go one more time.
Hello, I am here to, okay.
You sound
it sounds
like
a little
foreign, dude.
Okay, hold on. I am class A, B.
No.
Okay. Let's just drop the whole thing. I tried. I tried to be. The fact of the matter is, you don't need to show up to someone's house and be a robot. That's not what you need to do. You could show up and you could be a professional person, and just kind of watch what you say out there, because as long as you're on top of your game, I've had clients that they'll complain if you say the wrong words because they could easily take it the wrong way.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, and hitting that. So when you guys are hopping out of a truck, you just got done at another house, you drove over, it took 10, 15 minutes or whatever it was. When you hop out, make sure you're tucking in your shirt again. Make sure you're walking up to the house confident.
And don't stink too.
And that one's going to be a tough one, so
tough.
Make sure you are showering every day.
Yeah, and have some deodorant in your truck.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody and everybody is different.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was hard to say. But, that is a good one. I actually knew a guy, we knocked doors, we sold door to door, and he would bring mouthwash with him.
Yeah,
and
nice.
He brought deodorant.
I always
and
carry
mouthwash.
gum with me too, because the last thing you want to do is just scare someone away with your breath.
Yeah, and that's a huge one. So if you do smoke, that's a big one.
Yeah, if you go eat garlic fries for lunch and then you're running your route and you're just, hello, everyone.
Yeah.
You're going to scare some people away.
Oh, man. Yeah, so definitely, keep some of those extra products on there in the truck just to keep you up to par.
Yeah, and the professional part too is if your uniform's stained, try to get the stains out. I know it's tough, but once you get that professional look down, it's just going to be a world's difference for you and your route. Because once you show up, you're always keeping that professional image. You're always keeping a professional manner when you talk to them. You're not going to be there for 38 minutes talking to someone because they know, no, that's my guy. He's here. Look at him. He looks professional. He always talks to me, and he has great customer service, and it's great. Yeah,
definitely. So I mean, that's a big thing that we just need to stay on that. We need to be conscious of it and be up to par with that. But let's go to the next thing. So the next thing, we've all been there. We've all walked into a house or a situation, and the customer is pissed off.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they're just mad.
Right.
What do you do in a heated situation? What have you done when someone's a little bit irritated with the service or with you or with the company or the office or whatever?
So here's the number one thing, and this goes in life in general, not just your route.
Okay.
Don't match their energy.
Absolutely.
So if they're pissed off and angry, don't get pissed off and angry. Stay calm. stay collected, and continue to be the person there to solve the problem. And every house I've done that someone's really mad, I swear it's just like you see it. And I know you can't see it, but my hand's going from an up position to a down position. Because it just lowers the whole level of their angriness at you or the company or anything.
Yeah. So usually, and I'll actually, there's some stuff on the sales side of things that I learned, is people match each other. So if you're calm, typically the other person's going to be calm.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to stay angry and mad and yelling when the other person is very calm. The other thing.
Well, real quick to touch up on that. The saying is true. It takes two to argue.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that it's really hard to do, and it takes some practice, but is to agree.
Yeah. Yep.
It is.
Swallow your pride and agree.
It is very hard for someone to be pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to the door and they're mad and they say whatever they want to say, and you just say, yep, I know, I understand, we'll fix it. That to them is, oh, okay. Well, I can't be mad at you anymore. You're agreeing with me. You're saying you're wrong. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can't agree on things that are blatantly illegal or harm to anyone. But there's majority of things are okay. I'll do it for you.
Well, let's hit on that, because I think there is a way that you can talk to someone if they bring something up illegal. Let's say spraying food.
Right.
That obviously that is very illegal.
Say they got some bad bananas and they can you spray it?
Yeah, can you just spray it? I'm gonna wash them anyway. Can you just spray it real quick? In that situation, you need to say, you know what? Yeah, I totally agree with you. It makes sense to spray it, but unfortunately, with the laws, we're restricted not to.
Yeah.
We can't. That's legal. I can lose my license. And you just turn it around. You don't have to put it on you. You don't have to make it your decision. Make it someone else's decision. Make it a reason, to some outside source that you both can get mad at. And that's the problem.
There you go. Yeah, put the blame on someone else.
Well, yeah, because if you're looking at someone else and you're both fighting that person, you're on a team now.
Yeah.
You've just built that bond.
Now you're on the team.
I agree with you. It's stupid. We should be able to spray all the fruit in the world, right? Well, no, maybe even though you're thinking they're crazy.
Yeah.
At least you agreed with them, and then they can say, yeah, okay, you know what? That makes sense. That's illegal. You could lose your license. Okay. You know what? Don't worry about it.
Now, if there's a bunch of fruit flies on a dead banana, the answer is to throw it away.
Yeah, I tell them to get rid of it.
That's what I tell them.
Get better fruit.
And a lot of people be like, well, what about the banana bread? Because you could use rotten bananas for banana bread. And you know what I say? To the trash.
Well, you know what? Actually, let's bring up another experience that actually recently just happened. So we had a technician. He went out to a restaurant.
Yeah.
He was spraying the restaurant.
Yep.
The guy wanted him to spray some of the video games or the arcade games that he had.
The
arcade machines. And he said, no, we don't do that. And then he went to the back area. And in the back area, the guy said, hey, did you spray around here? He said, no, there's boxes, there's clutter everywhere. And so then he helped the guys to move all the boxes. And the guy said, oh, you didn't spray back here. And he said, well, I know I didn't. I told you I didn't spray back here.
Yeah.
And I won't say that he necessarily did everything wrong, in that situation. But in that, I would never tell someone, no, I don't spray those.
Right.
In that situation, you say, yeah, you know what? Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't know that you wanted that done. Let me get that done for you. And I'm going to put that in the notes. So every technician after me is going to do that for you.
Right. Now, sometimes the client, may be the blame, but that's fine. This is a positive one for the clients today. And no, I wasn't the technician that went out there and sprayed. That wasn't me. It was a different technician. But,
yeah.
I'm sure 98% of technicians would agree out there that, well, why is he babysitting your service? That's the last thing you want. But look, this is for the clients. We love our clients.
You're right. So, but getting back on it though is how you respond to those people. Right. I mean, yeah, you're always going to have one or two of those guys that are going to follow you around the property. Yeah. But it's how do you respond to that person in the best way to where they're not going to say, I hate that guy. I don't want him back on my property. Because that's the last thing you want, because now you become a burden for the company. You're not helping the company.
Yeah.
You become a burden on your route. You're not helping the route. And eventually someone who's going to be that guy who steps in and says, you know what, I'll say yes to my customers.
And that's the tricky thing. Yeah.
That you're eventually going to get pushed out of that spot.
You will. And it may or may not have already happened.
I hope he's not listening. He's gonna listen.
Yeah.
No, but it's not a hit on him, because
Not at all.
He's not 100% trained on it, and I don't blame him. A lot of
Yeah.
techs are not trained on customer service.
No, definitely.
We've seen it.
Yeah, everyone shows up, and a lot of people show up and treat.
I've seen 20-year-old tech, not 20 years old, but I mean, they've been in the industry for 20 years,
Right.
and they don't even know what to say to customers. They're
Yeah.
awkward. I mean, they're just awkward. They don't know what
Right.
to say. They're disagreeing with
Because,
customers.
and you know what? When you go and take your test to become a technician,
It's not down there.
Not one thing says, how do you address this customer's needs
They
if
look
they're
at you
angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The technician looks at you and said, nope, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. And look, listen, and if a lot of you guys have a little bit of pride out there or anything, and you're like, I refuse to do X if the client's doing this, and I won't do it. That's my rule. And you make up little rules for your route. I recommend start trying to cut back on those, because you're not necessarily hurting yourself, but you're hurting the company. Because now what you did was your route now has all these little rules that you've developed for it. And now anyone, if you're sick or if you need a vacation, anyone that goes to your route, it's going to be an unsatisfied client. So I highly suggest that you keep your route to where it's, yes, they love you, they want you, but it's not, oh, no one could ever take my route because I developed all these rules and now all my clients know my rules.
Yeah, well, and that actually, that's a great topic we should hit on in the future. But that's a very toxic thing to do as a technician, because what you're doing is you're blocking yourself from growing.
You are.
And so when you do that and you create something where no one else can take it, it's super hard, it's impossible. That means you will always be a route tech.
Yeah.
You're always going to be that technician on that specific route.
Yep. And that's that's your mindset.
Yeah.
Your mindset is, how can I develop my little area? This is my workspace. When you should be looking at it in a broader scheme of, no, this is each customer, and I appreciate every customer. And it's, I will want anyone to be able to take my spot because I know I could fill anyone else's spot because I follow great customer service.
Well, and that's what will happen. So you go into houses and you're dealing with, irate customers. You're being that guy that steps above that. You're agreeing with the customer.
Yeah.
You're guiding them through that process. You're educating them at the same time, because that is part of customer service. You allow, if you're the tech that, doesn't explain anything or just does everything because you want to say yes, 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 yes.
Well, and let's address, this podcast isn't to be a pushover. That's not at all what it is.
No.
Yeah.
It's about educating your customers with respect.
Yeah.
Well,
and still being that professional, you're still in charge of the whole situation. Now, if a client,
should be.
Yeah, and always. Yeah, and if you're not, you need to start working on that. And it's easy because they see you as the professional. Now, if you've dug yourself a hole and you're that rowdy tech that kind of shows up and they're like, oh, well, we'll tell you what to do, you got to start trying to fix that, because at the end of the day, that's not helping you out at all. So my advice, definitely, regardless if you're starting a route just now, if you're getting in the industry, or if you've been in your route forever, just get that professional standard out there. Always look professional. I'd advise against, smoking or drinking with clients, because I've been offered it a lot.
Gosh,
I don't don't go smoke a cigarette with them or anything like that. You're professional. And I would say you're their friend, but you're not their buddy. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you need to keep, sometimes you have to keep customers in line.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? We're going to hit something real quick. We might get a little heated here.
What?
But going to the saying where the customer's always right.
Right. Now
they're not always right.
No, that's not what that saying means.
You know what? We'll let them decide. Let's let the listeners decide what that means.
Yeah. So this is what my definition is. The customer's always right means that the customer is always right in regards to their credit card. So if they're always paying for a specific service, then you're wrong to try to give them a different one. Now, let's say this. Now, we have and it's not our actual prices, but for $100, we'll show up every month. We'll get rid of your bugs. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the customer is like, well, I'm going to do it for 80.
Okay.
So if all the customers are buying your service for $80, they're right. So now you can't try to push the 100 on them. So that's what the saying means. It doesn't mean so this is what it doesn't mean.
Okay.
The customer isn't, sovereign or nothing like that. They're not always right. That's not what that saying means.
No, I agree with it.
It means they're always right with their wallet. That's what it means.
I think, it depends on how you look at it.
Right.
I think it all depends. So I look at it as when people say the customer's always right, because you get it in a lot of customer service orientations.
Yeah, they mess it up.
Yeah. They are screwing up because they're not always right. If they're talking to the technician and you're the professional and they've never dealt with that type of bug, that type of chemical, well, you can't listen to them. You can't just blatantly do what they're asking you to do. You need to step
I've
up
ran
and
into it.
Explain.
Yeah, I've ran into it where, you're doing a cockroach treatment and the client's like, spray here, spray here, spray here, spray here. And I just nod. I'm not going to, listen, they're not going to be in the house when I'm doing a cockroach treatment. If they are, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. I want to also hit on, this is for technicians, but also business owners. You need to make sure that the technicians are up to par on this, that they understand exactly what's going on and how everything's supposed to be done with customers. Because if you're not teaching your technicians that, and you're not going over those things with them, then, you're failing in that customer service aspect, because there's going to be people that are angry. And then what's going to happen is if you're not making sure the customers, or you have customer service in the office either, you're going to start losing people. So you need to make it on all fronts. So it's not just technicians. You need to be customer service oriented. It needs to be a whole team. The office needs to be customer service oriented.
Right. Now, and here's a perfect example of it. It's easy to get the true insight of your client lost, the vision of them. It's easy to see them as a statistic, as a number. And what we were just doing earlier, we're messing around with developing regions for the route.
Yeah.
We just see dots. We're not seeing each name. You know what I'm saying? We're just seeing, and our company's doing very well. We have millions of dots on there, by the way. Anyways, so when we're doing the route, look, I get it. You could forget about it, whether you're an owner, a technician, anything like that. You could forget that your client is a client. They're your friend. You could think it's just another day. Hey, that's my Wednesday. I have 15 accounts.
Yeah.
You don't name each person individually, but at the end of the day, that's an individual person each stop that wants your service.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you just have to keep that in mind always, office, route, whenever you're talking to them. Always.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Actually, even hitting the office side of things with being customer service oriented, and technicians, you need to stand up and say something if this is happening in your office, because it happened just recently here. So we had an office staff, and what that person was doing was saying yes, 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 yes to the customer.
Yeah.
And when that was happening, they would put them on the schedule. Well, they weren't paying attention to the schedule. And so what was happening is they were getting into impossible routes where a technician wasn't going to show up on time to that house.
And it turns into a double negative.
Well, and this is the thing, yes, because the customer in the moment on the phone, they're super happy.
So happy.
You took care of them. You set the schedule. The office person is happy. They're screaming in here because they're just, I killed it with that client.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're showing up to that house 30 minutes late or an hour late, or not even showing up at all because you can't. It's impossible.
And they're getting called to reschedule.
And then it comes back on you as you didn't do your job. You didn't get there within the time frame. So you have to do your part to step up. But as a business owner, if anyone's listening, you need to step up and you need to look at the office staff and say, okay, what went wrong here? And why are we telling people or lying to them or not doing something that we should? Because we're telling them, oh, yeah, we're going to be there between 2 and 4. You can't do that.
Yeah.
If it's not possible, don't do that.
Yeah, and also and that's an overbearing office personnel that's like, yes. Oh, you want it at 1:35? no later, you got it.
Yep.
And now the other one is the, very distant office person that's like, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess we could schedule you.
Yeah. Well, you
You
what?
want to get a something right in the middle. Yeah, yeah.
Well, but if you keep those windows open or you keep it, you don't necessarily. I like to tell customers, even if I know that the tech's going to be, because I know when you guys are going to show up.
Yeah.
I ran that route. I know how long it should take you. I know I have a really good ballpark.
Yeah.
And so,
now, hold on really quick. Now, what if there's companies out there that their dispatcher or scheduler hasn't ran a route? They don't know the meticulous things behind it. What is your advice for that?
Oh, I'm going to blow everybody's mind right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's called Google Maps.
Oh.
Okay. Mind blown.
What is that? Where would I download that?
You know what?
Is that like a third-party website?
You got to go grab a map.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like MapQuest. MapQuest.
Remember when you'd have to print out maps?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, let's not get into that.
Okay.
But no, the reason why I say Google Maps is because what I do, and even in the office, I've taught some of the office staff to do this, is go in and you can actually see what the time frame is going to be. How long are those drives? And then add on, okay, look, our services are average 25 minutes. So whatever the drive time is, add the 25 minutes per job.
Yeah.
There you go. You have a ballpark of when they can show up. You might not be able to do that all over the phone right then and there.
Yeah.
Tell the person you'll call them back.
Yeah. And don't forget to call them back. Don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah.
But use Google for that, and then you can easily, understand a route a lot better. And if you are using a system, I'm going to hit this so many times, guys. If you're a business owner, move from paper. But the system tells you. Majority of the time, the system's going to tell you, hey, how far they are.
Yeah.
What the time frames are going to be. So it should be fairly easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree 100%. And of course, now I know we're talking about maps and everything like that, but the bottom root of that is that's all customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're sending guys out there and they're going to they can't make a time window or anything like that, you're going to have an unsatisfied customer at the end of the day. And I love how we're calling it customer service and customer, but we're in the beginning.
Client service.
Yeah. In the beginning, we're all like, they're clients.
Yeah. It should be client service. We're going to change that. So this is keeping your...
Well, what's the title is how to keep your client happy, right?
It is, yeah. But
Look,
we need to say, we need to take out customer service.
People get what we're saying. It's client. Keep your client satisfied. That's all it is.
Client satisfaction.
Keep that person. You show up and you go remove their webs and kill their spiders and all that. Keep them happy. That's what you need to do.
So now, we kind of hit on both sides of being a technician, owner, overseeing that, making sure everybody's in line, taking care of everything. The office is on point with, letting when the technician's going to show up, letting them know, and even, opening up that window as big as they can. Because if the technician gets closer to the time they want, even better. Yep. Everyone looks better. So, but also, going above and beyond on each service. I'll throw out an example if you want to throw out one as well.
Okay.
Is, if someone is pointing out, and I've had this in California, we have a bunch of the Turkestan roaches running around.
Yeah.
They're in garages, instead of just saying, oh yeah, I'm going to spray in there. I'm going to spray in there and then I'm going to leave.
Right.
Okay. That's a good answer. What I've done is I'll let the client know, look, I'm going to spray in here. I'm also going to set up glue boards. These are what the glue boards are for. I'm going to leave a couple extra with you. So if you do get anything on the glue boards, pick them up, throw them away, set up some more.
Yep.
So that is just going above that service. They never knew that before. Yeah. I'm adding that extra value there. And now they're going to look at me as that's the hero. That's the guy that takes care of me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's literally just something as little as spending the extra 3-5 minutes at a house to solve their issue. Yeah. Because that's always your main goal is, okay, you're seeing cockroaches. Yeah, I mean, I could spray, but I could also make sure, that you're not going to have anything by going above and beyond each service, whether it's ants. You could spray some stuff for ants and get rid of them, but what if you spray in bait? Would you say overkill? Maybe. Right. But hey, there's times
to get rid of them.
Yeah. If you spray, ants could still be there.
Yep, we've had it.
Yeah. So listen, just go above and beyond always. Now, obviously, there's time constraints, everything like that. You can't, like if the client says, "Can you clean my gutters?" Maybe that's something. And I've been asked that. I've been asked to clean gutters, and I said no.
I would too. Don't.
But just understand that when you're going out there, don't take things too seriously. At the end of the day, it's a laid back job. Don't kill yourself if you say the wrong words at a house, or if you feel like you didn't de-web long enough and the client seemed like you were in a rush or anything like that.
Well, and that's another thing is, when you're at the house, you're on the door, you're talking to the client, you say, "Hey, can you spray the inside real quick?" And you don't have time. Yeah. Be honest with the customer.
Yeah, be honest. Tell them
because
just tell them like I can't, and explain why, and just be honest.
But also let them know. And so if owners are here, listening to this, and they're probably going to say that's a bad idea, don't do that. Look at the numbers. Go back and look at the numbers, because when your technicians have that freedom to say, "No, I can't do that today. I have a lot of accounts. I gotta, if you focus on one client, which is not a bad thing, but you do have to have a very good balance between it, because there are other 12, 13, 14, 15 other people that are expecting you at their property that day. So you need to be able to say, "You know what, Mrs. So-and-so, I can't do that today. I would love to come back when I have more time to give you the best service possible."
Yeah.
Because if you're rushed, you're going to be rushed on 13, 14 other accounts.
Yep.
You're going to have 13, 14 other callbacks, because your guy is trying to get everything done within 8 hours and go home and be with his family or relax. And so now you're rushing the day.
Yeah. And what happens when you rush and stuff like that, then it's going to kill your client service, your customer service.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. It's just going to ruin it. And people are going to say, "Oh, he was rushed," or "He looks stressed, and I don't know if I got a good service." And at the end of the day, it all just goes right back into that, making sure your route's happy.
Oh yeah, it totally does. So, you need to be able to feel comfortable with that, so that you can say, "Hey, no, I can't do that today. But call the office, or I'm going to have the office call you, and we're going to get that taken care of when I have enough time."
And 9 out of 10 times, your client isn't going to have a problem with that. Now, whether sometimes they'll be like, but there's ants in there right now. Let's face it, you'll always have time for to quit bait real quick or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the fast stuff. I'm talking about, hey, I got rodents up in my attic.
Yeah, and if you can't do a full-on estimate, you're going to have to get that rescheduled or
exactly.
Like
and that's huge with the customer, client satisfaction.
You know what? Let's just let it slide off naturally.
Okay,
I'm sure everyone realizes what we're trying to say at this point.
So, but with that is you're giving them the best service.
Yeah.
You can't give them the best service if you're rushing through. You have 10 minutes to do a rodent inspection. And if you're the tech that just throws up a trap in the attic, you're doing it wrong, okay? If someone says I have rats in the attic,
or rat
don't
poison.
throw up. Yeah, don't do that. I mean, that is the dumbest thing, because you're going to have callbacks. You're not going to get rid of the issue.
Yeah.
And you're going to make everybody look bad.
Everyone's going to look bad, and you're
bringing the industry down when you do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm going to get heated here if we keep talking about it.
Okay, relax.
I am. I'm going to breathe.
Okay. Everything's okay. Do we have any other topics? Or
you know what? No, I think we hit everything today, guys. Just remember.
Let's summarize. Each topic. Let's do it.
Okay, so remember, business owners, technicians. Now we're going to throw in office staff.
Yeah, you're in here now.
You're in here now. We already brought you in.
You're in. Welcome to the brotherhood.
That's right.
Or family if you're not a brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
You remember, your clients pay your check.
They do.
They are taking care of you, your family, and whatever hobbies you like. Okay?
Yeah.
They are putting that money in your bank account.
There's no beating around the bush on that. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
They are paying you.
Absolutely. Number 2, guys, customer service or client service or satisfaction.
Whichever one you prefer.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
Make sure you're putting them first. Make sure that you're doing the best on their property that can be done.
Yep.
Don't half-ass a job.
Don't.
When you're doing anything, you're doing it with with everything in.
Yeah.
You're going all in on that.
Yep.
Also, make sure that you know how you're talking to them. when a problem arises, agreeing with them, making sure that you're saying, yes, I understand, I'm on your side, creating whatever that problem is and creating a team and a friendship with them, attacking that problem together.
Yep.
And then also being professional, looking professional. You always got to make sure that you're on that. Don't grab a wrinkled shirt off the floor, throw it on and go to work. Make sure that everything's looking clean. It's nice. It's washed. Don't look like a freaking bum out there.
Right. Because easily you could cross that barrier of, oh, that's a professional service guy, to, oh, that dude just rolled out of bed. And you don't want to cross that barrier.
Yeah, because eventually it's going to catch up to you where customers say, no, I don't want that guy on my property.
Yeah.
So,
because they're going to think you're just some random degenerate they pulled off the street, but you're not. You're a beautiful route technician for the pest control industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, guys, so remember those points. Keep customer service, first in your route. Keep that in mind when you're in the office. And owners, make sure that you're teaching everybody how important the customers and the clients are to the company, to the service industry, and especially to pest control itself.
Yep. Have a great one. Hey guys, this is Anthony, and here's a quick reminder. We want to hear from you, whether you're a technician, owner, or operator. We want to hear your stories, whether it's a horror story on the field, a funny story with the client, or just something straight up crazy or weird you've seen. And how can you do this, you ask? Well, our email is dnapestpodcast@gmail.com. That's DANDA pestpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us at Twitter and direct message us there at DNA Pest Podcast. That is D, the letter N, A, Pest Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. Or you can reach out directly through our website at dnapodcast.com. That's DANDA podcast.com. We want to hear from you, so let's hear it.